foolish mortals.
Hello there. Are you insane? Get out of here!
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
Right, off you go.
Welcome to Average Joe Orlando. Hello, theme park goers. Welcome to another episode of Average Joe Orlando. Today we're going to be talking about the Efteling, or as they just call it, Efteling. This is the front row review and advice, the hardest thing for me to say, but front row review and advice on the Efteling. Now, the Efteling, I just got back from a vacation there, so I wanted to wait to record this one. I've been there 2 times in the past, maybe 2012, I want to say was my first time, during the winter, just for a day. It was great. Then I got to go another time for the winter about 2 years ago, also for the day, and experience their holiday event that they had. And now got to go in the warm weather and completely different experience. Got to stay on one of their on-site hotels. So we're going to talk about that, what you get, also how to do everything in a day, what I did, and really what makes this, I'm going to be really honest, my favorite theme park. I've spoken about my favorite theme parks before. I think I ranked Tokyo Disney Sea as number 1. But this one has this charm. And this is one of those quintessential parks that just has everything. And it's fantastic. But let's talk a little bit about the Efteling. For those of you who don't know, Efteling opened in 1952, so it is older than Disneyland, as a fairy tale forest. So this was a place where you can go and experience all these different walkthroughs, see the different fairy tales, learn about them, and it's still there today. I don't know why I keep going, but now there are 31 different tales. This year they actually opened their 31st, The Princess and the Pea. So as you walk through the forest, which I have yet to learn my way through, now my 3rd time going, I still get lost. It intertwines. There's different ways to go. There's walkthrough attractions. There are ones that you just walk up to. There are ones where every 2 minutes something might happen. A lot of the original ones are still there, which is the crazy part. I was watching in the hotel. They had a video about the original, and I was like, wait, that's from 1952. That's, wow, super impressive. They have some ones that I've never heard of. Everything is in Dutch. However, the little storybook out in front of it is in English, so you can read it. However, a lot of them you do know, but a bunch of them you don't. And I don't know who Longneck is, but I learned about him. I also learned that he has Stroopwafel right across the way, which we will talk about in a minute. After they have the Fairy Tale Forest, they started adding different rides, many which are still there today, and many of them which are very similar to Disney, some that came before, some that came after, and some that I don't understand how Disney doesn't have, which we are going to talk about as well. They have every kind of ride you can think of, boat rides, Peter Pan flying kind of ride, but 10 times better. They have a room that spins around. They have a wooden coaster. They have a dive coaster. They have this dance ride that's ridiculously good. And they just keep building, and they just keep expanding, and they just keep growing. They also have on-site hotels. So they have the Efteling Wonder Hotel, which has themed suites to the different fairy tales or the different rides you can get. Then they have, I'm going to butcher because this is Dutch and I am not good at that, the Borsig Hotel and the Lundlock Land. I'm sure it sounds nothing like that, but you can Google it. And now these are more, this is where I stayed at the Borsig. It looks like a castle kind of in the woods, and then there's cabins and a lake. And the whole theme of the hotel is Father Time and the Sandman. No, the Sandman, not Father Time. It's the Sandman because there's sand things all around. And he walks around the hotel with his owl friend, and they tell stories to the kids. It was all in Dutch, so I don't know what he was saying, but they seemed to like it. And it was the most charming hotel. You just walk around. I stayed in one of the rooms inside, the main castle, and it had a bunk beds, and you get those little nightcaps, and they have games, and it's just really charming and cute. What comes with the hotel, so when you book your hotel, you get park tickets for every day that you're there, so check-in day and check-out, and you also get breakfast every day, and that's all included with your ticket, with your package, and that's the only way to book it. So it was really neat that you get everything. I can tell you, price-wise, it's very good compared to Disney, and everything's just really nice and included, and their breakfast was fantastic, and a great way to start the day. The hours are much different, which I thought was interesting. You get 30 minutes early into the park when you are staying on site, which was great. However, the park doesn't open until 10, and it closes at 6, sometimes 7 over the warmer months, which is really interesting because they have a nighttime show, which is kind of like World of Color. However, it's just mostly fountains since there's no color because it doesn't get dark in the Netherlands till almost 10 o'clock at night over the summer. So definitely a different vibe, shorter hours. The food's inexpensive. It's just I can't even explain it. It's great. And no virtual queues, except they were testing one out for the Dance Macabre one. And no Express, no Genie Plus. You all just wait. And I've never waited more than 20, 25 minutes for anything. So it was nice. I didn't have to sit on my phone all day and plan out where I wanted to go. I could just kind of explore. They do have an app, which is super easy to use. And you can click and say, okay, this one is an 8-minute walk and it's a 10-minute wait time. Do I want to do this next? They have some mobile ordering. There was never a long enough line that I needed to do a mobile order. And the food around the park was great and all inexpensive as well. Now, I said it comes with breakfast and tickets. Let me look through my notes. Let's talk about other things you could do. So besides all their rides, which we're going to get into, are just things you could do, which I always like and appreciate in a park. This is why I like Animal Kingdom so much, of things that you could just wander around and see with no wait time. So starting with the Storybook Forest, walking through there, you could spend probably around 2 to 3 hours in there if you really wanted to spend your time. I probably spent 90 minutes, I would say, walking through, seeing all the different areas. Still have yet to see some of them because I just couldn't find my way around. It's literally an old forest with all these setups, and walking through, there's little snack stands, places to sit and eat, places just to relax and just watch things. Very, very cute. You could just go there, get lost, and get a stroopwafel. Now, if you don't know what a stroopwafel is a very famous in the Netherlands, and it is 2 waffles they're round and it's cut down the middle, and then they put like a caramel sauce, like a maple in between, like a waffle. And here in the forest by the long neck exhibit, they have one that they dip and they put like a candy on it. So I definitely tried a chocolate dip stroopwafel with like a chocolate balls, I guess they were on it. It was really good. And then when you want to throw away any of your trash, you throw it into these people's mouths. Yes, I said that. So it is a very interesting thing they have there. They scream out papier here, and it's like this cartoon guy with his mouth open. And they also had one where there was a soldier and you throw it in a cannon, but it goes papier here, and you put your trash in there, and that means trash here, and then it says dank u wel, which means thank you. And so they are all around the park. There's something that's been there since, I believe, the 50s, if not the early 60s. And they kept adding them and changing them. And you can actually buy them in the shop, little merchandise ones of it, which I definitely did. And that's an attraction itself. You could hear them as you walk around the park. And you're like, oh, I know there's a trash bin there. I didn't see many people throwing in trash there, more so taking pictures with them or like tossing a napkin in there just so it made the noise. Very, very cool. Also, as I mentioned, there are food and snacks to go around. So everywhere you look, there's something different. They had all different kinds of food from all different parts of the world, and everything was really good. And I don't think I've spent, for 2 of us with 2 drinks and 2 entrees, was less than 20 euros. So you really can't beat that. Also, for dinner one night, we had pancakes. They have a pancake house. It kind of reminds me of something that you'd see at Disney because everything moves, the pots are stirring, everything's going crazy on the stove, and it looks like kind of like a Beauty and the Beast kind of style thing. And this has been open since the early 2000s, but unlike Disney, everything still works because they actually keep up with the maintenance, so that's a nice change of pace. And they do pancakes, and they do sweet and savory pancakes. I went for the savory, which was cheese and bacon, and they cook it inside the pancake, and it's one giant pancake, and it was great. And they do savory, which you could do apples, they do goat cheese, they do all different kinds, but very popular. Line out the door, booked a reservation in advance, worked out great. But let's dive into the rides. That's what a lot of people want to go there for. Obviously, you have the charm and the nostalgia, but I had luckily a day and a half, so I got to do everything. Most things more than once. I did Dance Macabre, their newest ride at the time of recording this, 4 times. That's how good it was. But we're going to start with Carnival Festival. Now, this is an old ride. I believe it was built in the 70s or 80s, and it is kind of like their version of It's a Small World, but it reminds me of the track kind of like Haunted Mansion, where you're on an Omnimover and you go around all the different countries, and it has a song that you're not going to be able to get out of your head, and it is weird, it is trippy, it is clearly one of those things that a lot of parents, from what I want to get to witness, went as a kid and now are bringing their kids back. So it's definitely one of those things that you kind of grew up on. Like if you know, like you watched this one movie as a kid and you loved it so much, and now you show other people as an adult and nobody really understands it but you. That's like me with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I love it. Other people may not get it, but it's great. That's what Carnival Festival reminded me of. It was something that parents can bring their kids back to because they remember writing this as a kid. A lot of merchandise for this ride. I think his name was Jokey, the main character. Reminded me of an old Disney Junior kind of show. Really weird. Definitely not my favorite. By the way, we're going to go from like least favorite to favorite in this ride. Least favorite, did it once. Hey, check it off the list. And the first 2 times that I went, this ride was closed. So it's nice to actually get to do something new. Next one is Vogelrock. Like I said, some of these are in Dutch. Some of them I was able to translate. Some of them, I don't know what it means. But this is Vogelrock. This is an indoor coaster. There's a giant eagle out front. The whole theme is something with an eagle and its egg, and you're on an indoor roller coaster. It's pretty smooth for an indoor coaster. Nothing crazy, no upside down, no loops or anything like that, but just a simple indoor coaster. It's good, not great. Definitely in the older section of the park. Cute ride. Next one is Fanta Mohana. This is like their Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Now, this is a boat ride. However, unlike Pirates, where it's kind of a boat that just kind of gets pushed by the water pressure, all their boat rides, which they have 2, are like pulled on a pulley system, and you could see the gears turning in the water, and all the boats are connected by like a rope, and they're all getting pulled. But they're all separate, but they're all getting pulled. The cool thing about this is by doing this kind of pulley system, it can make really sharp turns. So when you enter the building, it makes like a sharp right. Like the whole boat basically does a complete like 180 essentially, because you're on this pulley system, which is really neat. This is a ride that was built in the mid 80s. And you could tell, and there's no line, and it has a charm to it. Don't know really what the story is. It's kind of, you're going through this show scenes, and there's tigers and people, and very Pirates of the Caribbean, but more like Pirates of the Caribbean, I guess, more like Middle East kind of area. Very cool. No speaking in it, really, which is great. So anybody can ride it, and it's definitely one of those old rides that holds up just because the music's really good. To me, the music is what I really liked about everything. Every ride had a song, and that's what you associate the ride with. That's what you know about the ride. This is one of them that I remembered from my first trip over 10 years ago, and something that every time I'm like, oh, this is Fanta Mohana. Do I know what that means? No, but I know this music, and it's really good. And at the end of the day, their nighttime show on the lake plays all the music from all the different rides. I already found it all on Spotify. It's very good. Next is a newer ride, newer meaning in the past 10 years, called Maxima Ritz. Now, this is a dueling family coaster. I remember when first time I came here, there was a toboggan coaster here, and they ripped that out, and they built this ride along with like a whole new land in here. And it's a kid's coaster, but it's fast. So I've never seen a train so long. I think there was 18 different rows of seats, which I was like, wow, go efficiency. And there's 2, and instead of dueling in the same direction, they duel in opposite directions. So you load, the other side loads, and in the middle, the animatronics of Maxima Ritz, and they're like powering this contraption, and then all of a sudden it's like boing, 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 and it launches you, and you both launch in different directions, and the music plays, and it's fun kids music. But then it goes around the track a second time, and you go through the building even faster, and then the music picks up and the speed of the car picks up, so the second lap is even faster than the first. And then it ends with like a whole crash scene with more animatronics. Everything has a great story, great music, and a great theme. I think that's what makes a theme park. So if you're like a roller coaster enthusiast, maybe this isn't your park, even though they do have some great coasters. But if you love a good theme park and a great setting, this is the place. Next one I'm going to put on the list is the Flying Dutchman. Now, there is another name for it, but I can never pronounce it, so we're going to call it the Flying Dutchman because that's the translation. This is a boat ride turn roller coaster. I will add, there are some other rides like the Python, which is this older coaster that I won't be including because I didn't ride it because it looks like one of those headache coasters. But the Flying Dutchman, this ride starts inside, and it's this old like water town, and it reminds me very of like Pirates of the Caribbean sounding with the music, and you go through all the different scenes. You board your boat, and it's elevated seating, like stadium seating, and it goes into an indoor show building on the boat. So the boat starts sailing through the water, and there's a lantern on the front, and it's really dark, and then there's big pirate ships all over, and then I guess the ghosts come or something like that because it like shoots you up a hill. And then you go outside, and it's a roller coaster. And the boat goes outside and is a complete roller coaster outside until the break zone where it comes and crashes down into the water. And miraculously, somehow they designed it where you don't even get wet. So this ride is open in the winter too. And then the track like kind of goes down, and you go into the water. You have to Google it. It's a very cool ride, very interesting, very unique The reason it's not higher on my list is because it is a short ride, but it is a very well-themed ride. After that, I'm going to say Villa Vota is my next one. This ride definitely makes me sick, but the music is so good, I want to go on it, so I'll close my eyes. It is kind of, I believe it was built in the 90s, if not earlier, and it is kind of like a madhouse. So you go in, and you're facing the other side, and you're in this room in a house, and all of a sudden the house starts to spin, or are you spinning? And it feels like at one part you're upside down, but the house is upside down, but you're only on a lap bar and you're not flying out of your seat. So it's one of those ones that mess with your head and it spins you around. Like I said, you might get a little sick. The thing is, you won't really get nauseous if you close your eyes because it kind of just teeters you back and forth like a swing. But the way the room moves, and the room is super themed and super well done, and the music is great. Next one I'm not even going to try with the name, so we're just going to call it the wooden coaster because it is the wooden coaster. Now, the wooden coaster is a dueling wooden coaster, old dragon themed. Everything is the knights all over, and you're going into battle, and you race the other car. However, whoever wins, the flags all come down in the station. And I've been on other dueling coasters before, kind of like Lightning Racer at Hershey Park. This one, not only was it not as rickety, it was very well upkept. It was fun because of the theming, how long it was, how you intertwined with each other, and then when you come in, all the flags start coming down. Instead of just being like, great job, fire wins, and yes, it's fire and ice, very dueling dragons style. Rest in peace. But this one, all the flags start draping and the cheers come. Of course, a great soundtrack again. Just a really good ride. Next on my list will be Symbolica. Symbolica, how do I explain this ride? Now, this is in a castle. So it's like, kind of looks like what would be like the icon of the park if you're thinking like a Disney park with a castle, and is a trackless dark ride that kind of reminds me of Mystic Manor in Hong Kong. It's from what I've seen online because I've never been. You could think of more Ratatouille, but with no screens, actual physical sets. And you get to pick your storyline that you want, which is neat. So there's 3 different rides on it. You start inside the castle, and Pardus, he's like the icon of the park. Think like the Mickey of Efteling, and he's like a court jester, and he creates this magic inside this house and makes everything come to life. So you start off, and he makes the staircase open up, and you walk through the staircase. Speaking of Pardus, so there's a whole story with him. Apparently, there was a live-action TV show with him that's just for the Efteling that was playing inside the hotel room also. Don't know what was happening, but I watched it, and it's all the characters from this ride. So they built all these characters, this whole storyline, just for this park. So there's the king, the queen, there's a female Pardus, I forgot what her name was, something with the P also, the bad guy, the wizard, all the different characters, and you're going to see them in the ride. So it starts off in this big wizard scene, and you pick what car you want to go in. So after the pre-show, you go down the stairs, and you pick, do you want adventure, heroes, or music? Or no, treasures, heroes, or music, yes. So treasures, heroes, or music. And by picking that one, you get sorted into a different line, and all 3 cars go at the same time, and then it breaks off into other show scenes. So the first time I did music, and we went into like different rooms, and they were all different themed in the different rooms. I think 2 or 3 times the car breaks off, and you see a completely different scene, like musical instruments coming alive. This time we did treasures, and I know we did like a diamond room. So you see completely different things each time. So it makes it very re-rideable. It's a weird ride. Not really sure what's happening the whole time. It is in Dutch, but there's a lot of music, like most of their rides, and they have spent some money on this ride. There's a lot going on. You go through the wine cellar one part, and all the wine bottles are popping out. It's very cool. Definitely have to do it at least once because he kind of makes all the rooms come to life as you go through this castle. Interesting, different, fun. Next on my list, Baron, 1898. Now, this is a dive coaster. And probably have seen dive coasters, been on dive coasters. However, this one is a super themed one because it is the Efteling. So the whole idea is that you are going into the mine shaft. However, the wailing women are protecting the gold. And so you start with the pre-show where they tell you you're going to be going down into the mines. And it was all in Dutch. However, they did have like screens with like what they were saying. And then the wailing women come out. And it's all these projections of these ghosts. And they come and start singing. You go into the ride. And when you load onto the car, it goes into the first room and the doors close, which is very cool because you're on a coaster that is over the track. And the projections come and like I guess it's a little door thing opens and the ghosts come out. And I guess they're telling you, go away. So as you go up the hill, you get held there at the top. And then you dive down, go through the ground, and it's a shorter coaster, but it is a very good coaster. Of course, it has theming everywhere. There's smokestacks with smoke, and then the things are moving and the noise, and that's what they do so well here is the theming, and they touch all the senses, and they really keep everything so nicely upkept. So it's a fun coaster, short coaster, but a fun coaster. Next one on my list, and this used to be my number one until this trip it got bumped to number 2, is Dreamflight, or as they call it, Droomflute. I'm probably saying that wrong. Hopefully no Dutch people are listening going, oh, you pay. Dreamflight. So Dreamflight, think of Peter Pan's Flight at Disney, where you're, or better yet, E.T., and you're in a car that's hanging from a track above, and it starts off like in this bedroom, and then you go to sleep, and as you go through, you get transported to like this mystical world, stay with me, of fairies and unicorns and trolls, and you're probably like, Joe, what are you tripping on? No, like this ride's good. The music is great. There's no speaking. It's just music the entire time. The show scenes are enormous with flowing water and animatronics and the space scene. And it's different and it's weird and it's beautiful and it smells great. Smells great. Unlike E.T. that smells like, oh yeah, I like that smell. Like this is legit. Like they smell the scent in the store. And I bought it. And now my house smells like Dreamflight. And it's a great ride. The best part is, spoiler alert, is the whole ride track is like going up, and then when you get to the top room, it's a giant room that kind of the track outlines it and spirals down, so the car gets released, and you are like kind of free falling in a circle down, like on the track. But it's a kid's ride, so it's just moving quickly. Like you're not dropping straight down. The track is riding, but you get to look at this room over and over as you kind of spiral down to the bottom. It's not a spinning spiral that you're getting sick. It's a long spiral, and it's raining in the middle. You're probably like, I don't understand. It's cool. All right, Dreamflight, amazing. And last and definitely not least, my favorite, so much that I bought the t-shirt, the sweatshirt, and the keychain, I think that's it, is Dance Macabre. Now, Dance Macabre is their newest ride as of the time of this recording, and it is like their haunted attraction / new themed attraction. They had an area in here that was kind of a walkthrough, and you'd walk through and you'd see it kind of come to life, and it'll play the song Dance Macabre. And if you hear it, you know, oh, I know that song. And you'd stand there and you watch the room come alive. And what they did was they took all those elements and put it into a ride. So this ride is the theme that you're going into this building, and this cat transformed into a beast and killed everybody in this orchestra, and everybody's dead. So now you're going in here for a concert, and you're sitting in the concert pews, and there's a cat, and then all of a sudden the cat transforms, and the music starts, and all the ghosts appear, and they're all playing instruments. The ride is inside a round show building, and everybody's sitting in these pews, and there's 3 rows in each section, and each one's on a little turntable. So there's 6 turntables. Close your eyes, picture it, unless you're driving. And the whole room spins as your section spins. And I can't do spinning, I can't do teacups, but this one is so controlled and so well done because it also tilts the table and goes up and down. So it starts off slow, and you start going through the room, and you see the conductor coming out of the organ, and he is conducting the orchestra. And then different windows start lighting up, and you see the different animatronics playing the different instruments. There's one that's a harpist, and as they're playing the instruments, their head comes flying through the harps. Like it must have been, instead of strings, it was lights. Then you see the chorus, and these are all different scenes from the original that they recreated and made better. The whole thing tilts so low, it goes below the ground level, and you see there's a crypt, and there's bodies coming out. Every time I rode it, which was 4 times, I noticed something different on the ride. That's how good it was. And I won't tell you what happens at the end because somebody did before. I saw it on a YouTube channel, and I was like, ruined it. But it's just a great ride. Really well themed. Super, super unique. Small footprint, which is really cool. And I think it was like 108 people we figured out per ride cycle. So pretty good efficiency too on there for the most part. So how other places haven't made this, but it's so unique, so different, so fun. Plus, who doesn't love a good haunted attraction? So scary and thrilling. Sign me up. But that is my list for all the rides. There are other things to do. There are boat rides. There's the pagode, which is like this kind of, you go up top and you can see everything from the park and it spins slowly. There's this boat ride on the lake, which is beautiful. The train, the monorail, the lake show. They have a carousel from the 1890s. So there's a lot going on in the park. But For dues, do spend all day in the park. As I mentioned, the park hours aren't long, so get there at open, stay there till close, enjoy it, and don't rush. Just enjoy the forest, the snacks, the music, the trash cans. It's a great park. It's one that I can't wait to go back to again. One that I'm listening to the music now, one that I have my merchandise, so it really hits on all levels and is a really unique and great experience. But that was my review and advice, more review, on Efteling in the Netherlands. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you at the parks.
Thanks for taking a ride with Average Joe Orlando.
You made it! I knew you would.
Is everyone okay? Hope you still want to open an account.
Say cheese! See you later!
Thanks, everybody. You were brilliant.
At this time, gather up your personal belongings and take your small grubs by their grubby little hands as you exit. Thank you.